So here we have a montage of things my wife and I did in 2024. It is shown in rapid succession with clever video editing, so it looks like we are busy actually doing something.
Harry and Meghan still don't get it. The couple can do whatever they want. They can choose their actions, but never their consequences. And this week made that crystal clear. Hollywood stopped taking their calls. Netflix was shamed into silence. Meghan even snuffed Santa Claus before crowning herself as CEO of American Riviera Orchard. And then you had African Parks exposed a new horror show. And that came right when Harry started attacking the media again and then began whining about Taylor Swift receiving better security from the United Kingdom government than he ever had. And that's at the very same time that the royal family snubbed the Meghans and then replaced them with real people.
David Beckham has had some good chats with the King recently. He has teamed up with him to become an ambassador for the King's Foundation. Believe it or not, they bonded over jars of honey. David Beckham at a fashion event giving the King a jar of his honey and the King also sending one back in return.
Meanwhile, Netflix was crying because only 141,000 people actually watched Has-Been's Polo trailer. And Netflix has 29 million YouTube subscribers. However you slice it, the California couple are only good at one thing. Meghan likes to stir the pot, and Harry just likes to smoke it.
Why are you wearing a glove?
We're giving you a tattoo about the Invictus Games.
Wait, have you done this before?
Well, you practically. Pretty much. Trust me. This is gonna be huge, man. I'm telling you.
What's that?
It's awesome, right?
Dude, it's enormous.
Invictus Games are enormous.
What does that say at the bottom?
The bottom?
Is that your name? Does that say Jelly Roll?
No.
You put your name on my neck?
You know what? I gotta go.
Wait,
Thank you for your time. I'll see you in Vancouver,
Are you
Prince.
serious?
I'll be there. Appreciate you.
I'll say this for the couple that likes trashing the royal family. Meghan and Harry sure do like reminding everyone about their connections to Buckingham Palace. Netflix released the trailer for Harry's Polo series, which just happened to star his last amigo, Nacho. Not even honoring their friendship, the Meghans made damn sure that they would blast their titles out in as big and as bold a font as is humanly possible, so it could shout out their one clear message. Hey, world, royal rejects' lives matter too.
Body. It's addicting.
As far as the Netflix series, it's already dead on arrival. And that can only mean one thing, that come 2025, there's going to be no contract renewal. And for that, I can promise you one thing. The $100 million grift that the couple are going to lose is nothing compared to the shame they felt this week when you had Hollywood power players and big studio bosses told the queen of self-pity and his spray tan spouse where to get stuck. They basically told him, next time you pick up the phone, you're going to get only one answer.
The number you have dialed has been changed.
Can you really blame Hollywood for their recent reactions? I mean, we're talking about Harry and Meghan. They're about as toxic as the crew that shoveled radioactive waste at Chernobyl. Seriously, just take a look at their recent tax filings for the Archwell Foundation. For the second year in a row, we found out that the Montecito merchandise only worked 1 hour a week. That's 1 hour a week for 52 weeks a year. Yet somehow they were able to convince someone to give them $4 million to their foundation. One lone mysterious donor didn't have a problem with funding their freeloading lifestyle as singles on either side of the coast. So whoever ponied up that cash, you know they were singing Meghan's tune. And you better believe it, because Meghan loves nothing more than to greet billionaire celebrities like a clapping seal, especially ones that hate the royal family, and mostly the ones who pick up the tab for dinner.
There she is, my better half, the apple of my eye, the toast to my overpriced jam, the Wi-Fi to my router, and whoa, what the fudge?
Now let's get real. Meghan is a wannabe. She knows that deep down inside, but she also knows that when she went to Perry's event, she wasn't the prize of the parade. No one was there to see her, but everyone was there to see Harry. And there's a very simple explanation for that.
You know, if she thinks that we in Britain think that she's royal, she's got another thing coming. She's about as royal as the average dust cart.
What gives the couple's game away is that the Meghans were originally scheduled to attend Perry's party together. As a couple, as a husband and wife, the same way the Hollywood Reporter announced it in their paper way back on July 17th of this year. Yet no one seemed to notice Harry's sleight of hand. He made a schedule change without anybody noticing. He scheduled another event on the East Coast at the very same time. So, of course, he wouldn't be able to be at two places at once, which ended up meaning last weekend that he wasn't there to hold his wife's hand in California, but instead he was in the Big Apple hustling for headlines over at the New York Times Book Deal event of the year. See, once you start observing how the pair of posters operate and then compare their public calendar versus their PR spin, you're only going to come to one conclusion, that their actions and their words say the same thing. They're no longer together. But that doesn't really seem to bother the Montecito manipulators because they believe they can fool everyone all of the time. They actually believe that the public are stone cold stupid. So Harry is about to learn a thing or two about lies, especially the ones he tells himself.
Yeah, when this is all said and done, what is Prince Harry going to be known for?
I don't want to put my finger on anything specific. I think I know what you're trying to get at. The main goal for me at the moment is being the best husband and the best dad that I can be.
Like P.T. Barnum, Harry is trying to sell 3-day-old fish by calling it white salmon. But here's the thing. The Meghans have spent years trying to convince the public about their love. But when love is real, nothing needs to be said. It shows because it shines. Well, now Harry is saying his relationship with Meghan is better and stronger than ever. Forget the fact that they've been apart for 3 months and they've spent less time together with one another than they have with the invisible ones. Harry is saying it's all peachy keen, pinky promise. But the public isn't buying it. So, of course, now he's mad. And because of that, he started promoting censorship, which he equates to real freedom.
Do you think there should be some kind of shift in terms of how we deal with social media writ large?
Are we allowed crowd participation?
Yeah.
Here we are talking about an industry that is making billions off of all of us, and yet there's no transparency and no accountability. So by raise of hands, who thinks that they should be held accountable and there should be transparency for the social media industry?
Just in case Harry doesn't know what that is, it's freedom, numbnut, the very same thing you and Meghan want to take away from everyone.
Yeah, it's sort of going back over the same things.
The Harrys of this world always start by telling everyone what they don't want first, and that leaves them room to hide what they really want most of all, to save that for the end.
People are screaming from the rooftops that they want even more transparency. They actually don't, give us everything and we'll sort it out ourselves.
I believe that the majority of people want to know that that the information isn't being censored, but that safeguards are absolutely necessary. This idea that someone's taking away free speech, that to me is a complete distraction. But the moment that you start normalizing hate speech,
right,
aren't you taking away free speech from so many other people?
Are you serious?
Like I'm always saying, when someone tells you who they are, it's just best to believe them. As for Harry, he's promoting censorship again because he's tired of not being able to control what the public says about him. He wants bootlickers, not butt kickers for the truth. Plus, he's a little bit upset at the fact that, he hasn't figured out how quite yet to get a piece of that $1 billion a week pie. Maybe Meghan will have better luck. But seriously, I'm kidding. We already know that she can't sell water in the desert. And this week more than proved that. A new report came out that American Riviera Orchard is Titanic the sequel. It just hit another iceberg. Meghan was too lazy or didn't pay enough money to fill out the proper paperwork for American Riviera Orchard for the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. So what was her solution? Did she say, I'm going to take time to reflect. I need to be kind so I can pay high quality staff and actually keep them so they can do their jobs? Nope. What she decided to do was trust the one person she held in highest regard in the world. The same person who got her in this jam.
Who would want to work with the person who the Hollywood Reporter just described as a dictator in high heels? So guess who's going to be the chief executive of American Riviera Orchard? Meghan Markle herself.
Whoa. The good news, the holidays are fast approaching, and that means one thing, that Meghan is going to have a lot of time on her hands to work on her excuses, to be able to spin the bad news about American Riviera Orchard's launch, that it's going to be delayed by a few months, maybe even a year. But who do we have to thank for Meghan getting all that time? The royal family. They decided to give she who must be obeyed and her long-lost ginger handbag the boot. for Christmas. They're not coming to Sandringham. They're staying right where they're at.
Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have been sensationally banned from joining King Charles and the British royals for their traditional Christmas celebrations. According to reports, as the regal clan gather for the festive season, Charles and Prince William have decided that they cannot trust the Sussexes not to leak intimate details to the media.
Since Meghan isn't spending Christmas time with the family, she decided to share with Mary Claire exactly what tradition she has in store for her kids. I admit that my son no longer believes in Santa, and we commiserate over the Christmas magic that seems ever so fleeting. I love the holidays, said Meghan, sharing that Archie and Lilibet are now 3 and 5, so every year it gets better. I'd bet almost anything that it was Meghan who was solely responsible for bursting the kids' bubbles when it comes to Santa Claus. I mean, after all, no narcissist could allow her children ever to worship anyone other than Mommy Dearest.
You deliberately embarrassed me in front of a reporter. A reporter? I told you how important this is to me. I told you.
All hungry ego alerts have the same thing in common. They only live to read about themselves in the headlines. It's the same for Meghan, which is shocking news for Walmart Wallace this week, since YouGov just released a new poll which shows she is the most unpopular title holder in the United Kingdom. And across the pond in America, it's the very same way. Her neighbors in Montecito don't view her as an asset in their community. And what they're really saying is no one believes Meghan. More than that, anytime she wants something, it always comes with an ulterior motive.
And let's come down now and talk about the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. We can't let them out. Through their Archwell Foundation, they've apparently donated $250,000 US dollars. Talk to me about what's going on with them.
Quite interesting that the most significant donation goes to a wellness centre, which was begun by President Biden's daughter. This, again, will be seen, or some will see this as a political act.
I'm sure the California couple's donation to Biden's daughter had no strings attached to it, just the same way I'm certain that the administration would guarantee the public that they didn't stonewall the release of Harry's visa information simply for money. I'm sure they would swear on a stack of Bibles over it, double pinky promise. But if you really wanted to, you could go ask halfway. That is, if Harry hasn't been so busy trying to dodge his responsibilities while avoiding any discussion about his African Parks Rangers.
It has been almost 1 year since African Parks board member Prince Harry barely acknowledged the allegations against one of his favorite charities, telling the Daily Mail he passed on their concerns to the higher-ups. Translation, he'd washed his hands of the situation. Fresh allegations after reports that a pregnant woman was trampled on, causing her to lose her unborn child. So, where is the Duke of Silence, and where does he stand on the repeated accusations of abuse by his closed-door charity?
No matter what has happened over the last 12 months, one thing is clear. Meghan has declared that 2025 is her year to shine. 2024 was her year to shine. 2023 was definitely her year.
2022.
But to show you how serious she is about being the Queen of America and ruling over Hollywood, this time she and Harry produced a cringe video to show that mysterious donor who gave him $4 million where all the money went. It just didn't go to a lonely broken nail and a lost hair plug. It went into showing you everything the couple did this year.
So here we have a montage of things my wife and I did in 2024. It is shown in rapid succession with clever video editing. So it looks like we are busy actually doing something. But the reality is that I was bored out of my mind. Watching paint dry in the hallways of the Royal Palace was more entertaining than this. My wife told me that 2025 is going to be our year. And she's never wrong.
If you liked the video and found value, hit subscribe, smash the like button, and leave your thoughts in the comments down below what you think the Meghans are going to do next. And share this video with everyone you know. To win every battle and stay true to yourself, all you have to remember is we never bow down, we never bend the knee. Always forward.